at peace, stress free, let it be.
Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name's Ashley and today we finally have a sewing video. Sorry it's been so long. I don't know, I just like haven't been feeling like in the mood to sew. Even today I was like, I don't know if I want to make this video. It's like the middle of the day on Tuesday and I upload on Wednesdays. Why do I always challenge myself like this? We're gonna get it done though, don't worry, we can do it. Watch me not be able to do it. Yeah, I just really haven't been feeling like motivated to sew for some reason. I don't know, I get in weird moods. Usually my moods to sew come at like 2 o'clock in the morning and that's a really inconvenient time to sew. So, but we're feeling it, we're having a good day. We're gonna make it happen. If you saw my video a few weeks ago, I can't remember exactly when, but I made a tank top that resembled the ones that they sell at like OMIGHTY and at Motel Rocks with like the lace on top. And I said that I was gonna make a dress because I have another color of that same fabric and the lace also. And I have never made a dress before, so welcome to my first attempt at ever making a dress. I'm not a professional seamstress, like I just said. This is my first time ever trying this. I don't have a pattern. It's gonna be a little bit of a mess, but hopefully we can pull it together. Yeah, so I'm sorry if you're coming here looking for a very like professional sewing tutorial. I'm so sorry. But if you're learning to sew, you can learn along with me because I am also just learning and teaching myself. So I've been talking for a while. Let me get all of the materials together and we can get started. Oh, I almost forgot. So these are some examples. If you don't know what kind of dress I'm talking about, these are some examples of what I'm going to try to make, or like along those lines. Maybe not exactly like it, but along those lines. Okay, now we can start. This is the fabric that I'm using. It's white with these flowers on it, and I'm using the same pattern for the boob piece that I made myself in my tank top video. I'm cutting out 2 of those obviously because I have 2 boobs. And I'm leaving a little bit of extra seam allowance. I just get paranoid that I'm not gonna have enough fabric, and I would rather have too much fabric than not enough. So there's my 2, and then I am cutting out the 2 boob pieces also on the lining fabric that I'm using. This is just some like thin like jersey fabric that I had left over. So here are the 2 pieces with the pattern on the front and the lining on the back. I'm using this tank top for reference because it fits me really well, and then I'm going to measure where the boob piece ends and where I want the dress to end. I did end up making it a little bit short, but it was like 16.5, so I gave an extra inch for seam allowance, so it ended up being 17.5. So then I folded my fabric in half and placed my tank top on there, also folded in half with the straps folded down, and measured from where the boob piece is going to end under my boobs all the way down to the bottom, and cut that out. And I left a little like hump in the middle, same as I did with my tank tops, kind of so the boob pieces will sit in there nicely. And then I cut out the back piece as well, which was just straight across with no hump. And then I cut out the 2 pieces on the lining fabric as well and gave a little bit of extra seam allowance. Now I'm looking at where the strap is going to start and where I want it to end on my back. I wanted them to crisscross across my back, you know what I mean? So it was about 20 inches. It was a lot less actually, but you know, better to have more. And I made it about 2 inches wide, this strip. So it's 20 inches long, 2 inches wide, and then I cut it in half so that I would obviously have 2 straps. And then I got the boob pieces prepared, so I just folded down all of the sides. Well, the 2 sides, not all of the sides, but the 2 sides, and made sure that they were about the same size, which they were. And now I'm just pinning the side seams of the like body, like the main part of the dress. I'm just doing that on both sides. This took a lot of trial and error, but basically what I did was I put the right sides of the pattern fabric together, and then I put the lining fabric on the outsides of those so that the pattern fabric was sandwiched in the middle, if that makes sense, but like right sides together so that I can turn it inside out. You know what I mean? And then I pinned along the sides. I did it in a straight line, but I recommend going kind of like curvy if you have a little bit of a curvier body. So then this is how I made the straps. I folded one side down and then I folded the other side over, but not all the way to the edge, and then I folded that in half. And then I just sewed right along where the 2 pieces were sandwiched together so that like it wouldn't fall out, like literally right along the edge. And I just used a straight stitch for that, and it was still plenty stretchy even with a straight stitch, so you don't need a zigzag stitch. And there's my 2 straps. So then I just sewed down the sides of the body piece of the dress. I used a zigzag stitch and it was a little bit stretchy, but you'll see in the next clip I tried it on and it was still kind of tight. So what I did was I left that stitch in and just stitched on the outside of it so that I could make it wider. And here I'll show you what I mean. So the top stitch is the new stitch that I made and the bottom stitch is the old stitch that I made. We're going to be keeping the top stitch and seam ripping the bottom stitch out to make it wider. This is my new seam ripper that I got. I got it on Etsy. It's really, really cool. I'll have it linked down below if you want to get one. It's such nice quality. I love it. It's so pretty too. So I'm just seam ripping those old seams out. And here's me trying it on with just the new seams and it fits so much better. I feel like I'm not like ripping the dress. So now I'm inserting the strap into the triangle boob piece by taking the tip of the triangle, which is up by your collarbone, and taking the 2 layers and folding both of the tips inward, and then I'm going to stick that strap inside of that little pocket that I just made. You want to make sure that they're inward so that you don't see like the seams on the outside. And then I'm just going to pin that across, and this is what it should look like. And then I'm just sewing all along the triangle pieces, the 2 sides as well as the top that's holding the strap. And these are the 2 pieces. I used a straight stitch for these, and because I just folded it over and didn't make it look like seamless, I wanted to cut all of the extra fabric out. This was just personal preference. It's not super necessary, especially I don't think this fabric will like fray, but you know. This is the lace that I'm going to be using, so I'm positioning it on the boob pieces so that it'll be in the middle of the like V, you know. And then I'm just using a combination of a zigzag stitch in the middle and then a straight stitch on the side to get that down and cutting it off so it's not like hanging off the edge by my armpit. And that's what it looks like. So this part was pretty complicated, but basically what I did was I took the 2 right sides of the boob piece and the front part of the dress that had the little hump, and I'm just positioning the boob pieces on the sides of the hump, if that makes sense. And I'm just using a straight stitch across there, and then I'm going to end up cutting off all of that extra fabric as well because we left a lot. And I'm cutting off the extra fabric on the sides now. So then I tried the dress on and pinned the straps in the back where I wanted them to go like crisscrossy and how long I like wanted them. I didn't stretch them though, so I could have made them a little bit longer, but I just used a straight stitch and sewed around a square where I was like sewing them on the back, obviously. And this is the slit that I made. I didn't do a great job though. Yeah, I'm just putting lace inside of the slit as well as on the front bottom of the dress. I feel like I see that a lot on the dresses that I'm trying to recreate. While I was doing this, I was making sure to stretch the fabric while I was pinning down the lace, because when I have it on, it is going to be stretched around my legs. It's a bodycon dress, obviously, so it's going to be tight and stretched. And I didn't want to sew the lace on there without it being stretched because the lace would probably rip. So I just used a straight stitch to hem the back part so that it wasn't like a raw hem anymore, and then to sew down all of the lace pieces on the slit and on the front. I'm just cutting off all of the excess strings and lace and all of that and fixing any places that needed fixing or like attaching or whatever. And this is it. This is how it came out. Oof, that slit looks rough. We're gonna talk about that. Well, this is the final product, as you just saw. I don't think it came out as cute as I thought it would, but it did come out cute. I actually really like it. I would definitely wear it, not now because it's like October, but like in the summer, I would totally wear this. The only thing that I messed up was the slit right here. Maybe I should have like researched how to sew slits. I kind of like cut it where I wanted to and then cut a little triangle, and I think I would have just been better off just cutting it and then like folding the sides down to kind of like finish off the edges. But you know, you live and you learn, and now I know for next time. I think the lace lays a lot better on this top than it did on the tank top, and also I like how like thin and light this feels. as opposed to the other one where I had like two like really thick layers on top of each other. I think putting the lining fabric inside was a really good idea. Obviously it was a little bit see-through but not too see-through, but the lining fabric just like ensures it's not see-through. And I think instead of cutting straight down, I could have gone a little bit wider on like the hip and thigh area when I was cutting and sewing. I tried to a little bit when I was sewing like the side seams the second time. I tried to fix that a little bit and go out, but I only had so much fabric, so now I know for next time to just cut it a little bit curvier, just for my personal like body shape, because my waist is smaller than my hips and thighs obviously, so it is a little bit tight around that area, but honestly not like too tight. Like it doesn't look weird, I don't think. It might, I don't know. But yeah, so that is it. I'm so excited that I got my first dress out of the way. I've been sewing for a little over 2 years, but not like super consistently and not like really like trying to learn. I kind of just do it and hope it turns out good. But I feel like the more that I do it, the easier it's becoming, and the more I'm learning where my mistakes are so that I don't make them next time. But I'm really excited about that, because that means that my projects are only going to get better from here, hopefully. Unless I try something like crazy, then maybe not. So if you want to see that journey, go ahead and subscribe down below so that you don't miss any of those videos. And thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you loved this video, and if you did, let me know by giving me a thumbs up down below. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you all next week in my next video. Hey.